The first time I caught Derek rifling through my mailbox, I thought I was seeing things. It was 6 a.m. on a Tuesday, and I was grabbing coffee when I spotted someone in a HOA polo shirt standing at my mailbox with a handful of envelopes. By the time I got outside, he was gone, but my gut told me something was very wrong. Derek Morrison was our HOA board treasurer, and the kind of guy who treated his clipboard like a weapon of mass destruction. He'd been gunning for me ever since I questioned his emergency assessments at the monthly meeting. See, Derek had been pushing through $500 monthly fees for landscape improvements that looked suspiciously like his own backyard renovation. I'm a postal inspector for the federal government. 23 years of investigating mail theft, fraud, and postal crimes. If there's one thing you don't do to a postal inspector, it's mess with their mail. Derek had just declared war on someone who literally wrote the book on mail crime prosecution. It started with missing bills. My electric company sent a disconnection notice for non-payment, but I'd never received the original bill. My credit card company called about a missed payment, same story. Then my property tax notice disappeared. That's when I knew someone was intercepting my mail systematically. I set up a surveillance system, trail cameras hidden in my landscaping, motion sensors, and a GPS tracker inside a dummy package I mailed to myself. Modern mail theft is a federal crime with serious penalties, and I was going to document every single violation. The breakthrough came on a Thursday morning. Derek approached my mailbox at 5:47 a.m., opened it with what looked like a master key, and removed several pieces of mail. He sorted through them right there on the street, keeping some and dropping others. My cameras captured everything in high definition. But here's where it gets interesting. Derek wasn't just stealing random mail. He was targeting specific types of correspondence. Government notices, tax documents, legal mail, and anything from the city planning department. He was trying to keep me in the dark about official business that might affect the HOA. I followed Derek after he left my mailbox. He drove straight to the HOA office and went inside with my mail. Through the window, I watched him open envelopes, photograph documents, and file them in a cabinet marked Resident Communications. He was building a surveillance file on me using stolen federal mail. That's when I discovered the real scope of Derek's operation. He wasn't just targeting me, he was intercepting mail for 12 other residents who had questioned HOA decisions. Property assessments, legal notices, city correspondence, even personal mail from attorneys. Derek was running a full-scale intelligence operation. I called my supervisor at the Postal Service and requested permission to open an official investigation. Mail theft is a federal crime punishable by up to 5 years in prison, and Derek had just committed dozens of felonies. My supervisor assigned 2 additional investigators and authorized a full surveillance operation. We documented 3 weeks of Derek's mail theft routine. Every Tuesday and Thursday, he'd hit the same 12 mailboxes using duplicate keys. We tracked him to a local locksmith who admitted Derek had claimed to be a postal service contractor authorized to make emergency mailbox keys. The federal case was building beautifully, but I wanted to understand Derek's endgame. Why was he stealing specific types of mail? What was he doing with the information? I decided to set a trap using my expertise in postal crimes. I created a fake legal notice using official city letterhead. Completely legal for investigative purposes. The letter claimed I was filing a formal complaint against the HOA for financial mismanagement and demanding a forensic audit. I mailed it to myself and waited. Derek took the bait. He intercepted the fake legal notice and immediately called an emergency HOA board meeting. The agenda was addressing hostile resident actions and protecting community assets. He was going to use my stolen mail as evidence to rally the board against me. I attended the meeting with a recording device and a federal prosecutor on speed dial. Derek stood up and waved my fake legal notice in the air, claiming I was trying to destroy the community with frivolous lawsuits. He read portions of the letter aloud, proving he had illegally opened and read my mail. "Derek," I said calmly, "how did you get that document?" His face went white. It was in the community mailbox by mistake," he stammered. "Really? Because I have video evidence of you stealing it from my personal mailbox at 5:47 a.m. last Thursday. Would you like to see it?" The room went silent. Derek tried to backtrack, claiming he was protecting the community from dangerous residents, but 3 other homeowners stood up and said their mail had been going missing too. Mrs. Patterson said her social security checks kept disappearing. Mr. Kim said his business correspondence was being intercepted. I played the surveillance video on my phone. Crystal clear footage of Derek opening my mailbox, sorting through my mail, and walking away with federal documents. The other board members looked horrified. Derek tried to claim it was a misunderstanding, but federal mail theft doesn't have misunderstandings. The next morning, I filed formal charges: mail theft, identity theft, conspiracy to commit fraud, and violation of federal postal regulations. Derek was arrested at his office by federal agents while wearing his HOA polo shirt. The image of him being led away in handcuffs made the local news. But the investigation was just beginning. Derek's resident communications. Files contained stolen mail from dozens of homeowners spanning 3 years. Tax documents, legal notices, medical correspondence. Even love letters. He had been building dossiers on anyone who opposed HOA decisions. The federal prosecutor was thrilled. Derek's case became a textbook example of organized mail theft for personal gain. He was charged with 47 counts of mail theft, 12 counts of identity theft, and conspiracy to commit fraud. His lawyer immediately started plea negotiations. Derek's HOA career imploded overnight. The board voted to remove him immediately and launched an internal investigation into his financial management. They discovered he'd been using stolen tax documents to challenge residents' property assessments and keep HOA fees artificially low. The locksmith who made Derek's duplicate keys was also arrested. He'd been creating unauthorized mailbox keys for Derek for 2 years, thinking he was helping with community mail management. Federal agents found over 200 duplicate keys in Derek's possession. Derek's trial was a masterpiece of federal prosecution. The evidence was overwhelming. Video surveillance, stolen documents, witness testimony, and Derek's own recorded admissions. He pled guilty to all charges and received 18 months in federal prison, plus restitution to all victims. But the real punishment was the humiliation. Derek's mugshot appeared in the local paper with the headline, "HOA Treasurer Sentenced for Mail Theft Ring." His employer fired him. His wife filed for divorce. His neighbors avoided him like he was radioactive. The HOA was forced to hire a professional management company after Derek's conviction. They discovered years of financial irregularities, unauthorized spending, and mismanaged assessments. Derek's landscape improvements were actually personal home renovations billed to the community. I was elected to the new HOA board as treasurer, replacing Derek. My first action was implementing transparent financial reporting and eliminating all emergency assessments without homeowner votes. My second action was installing security cameras around the community mailboxes. The Postal Service used Derek's case as a training example for mail theft investigations. His systematic approach to intercepting specific types of mail became a case study in federal law enforcement academies. Derek's stupidity became educational material for future postal inspectors. Other HOA communities contacted me for advice after Derek's story went viral. Apparently, mail theft by HOA board members is more common than people realize. I started consulting with communities dealing with similar issues, always pro bono. Derek served 14 months in federal prison and was released on supervised probation. He's required to stay away from all HOA activities and can't hold any position involving financial responsibility. He works at a gas station now and drives a 15-year-old Honda. The best part, Derek's conviction created a legal precedent that's been used in dozens of other HOA corruption cases. His name is literally in federal court records as an example of how not to run a community organization. He became a cautionary tale. I still live in the same house, but now I actually enjoy checking my mail. Every piece of correspondence that arrives safely reminds me that Derek learned the hard way. You don't steal mail from a postal inspector. Some people collect stamps. I collect federal convictions. The community is thriving under professional management. No more mysterious assessments. No more missing mail. No more board members treating clipboards like crowns. Derek thought he could intimidate residents with stolen information, but he forgot that some residents have federal badges. Sometimes I drive past Derek at the gas station where he works. He won't make eye contact, but I can see the recognition in his face. He knows exactly who brought down his little mail theft empire, and every time I see him, I'm reminded that justice isn't just served, it's delivered. The moral of the story: HOA board members aren't above the law, especially federal law. Derek learned that stealing mail from a postal inspector is like bringing a clipboard to a federal investigation. You're going to lose, and you're going to lose spectacularly.